G'day listeners, welcome to Bar Karate, the sailing podcast. My name is Jordan Spencer. It's that time of the week where we get to talk with some really cool sailors, but of course I have to share the microphone with my two idiot mates. So first off, welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
BP.
Hello, world.
Hello world, indeed.
It is that. Well, I've got to say, we've sort of bantered on a little bit in the past about those 5.5s. Now, I did say off air that I've been doing them. I started today, the New South Wales State titles. So, yeah, giving that a crack. Cool boats. Cool boats.
Yep. Very, very cool boats. We'll talk about that a bit later on, I think, BP. But
Yeah, no worries.
yeah, very cool. Very, very jealous. Let's bring in the other bloke and see if he's alive. Do we know if it's going to be this? Or is he there?
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Boyce, you there?
Hey, how have you blokes gone?
Yeah, good.
Leave you guys for 1 week.
What?
World War breaks out.
I know. Well,
Mate, I tell you. All right.
I don't want to do humour about that.
Well, I just checked the stats, actually. We actually have a few Ukrainians and Russian listeners.
Yep.
So hope everyone's safe.
Yep.
Now, I guess you're probably asking, or want to ask where I was last week.
Yeah, well, there was questions raised.
we
Not
tried
too many
calling.
people were concerned, I'll be honest. It was a lot less than we expected.
No, just simple crew dinner. Pretty standard, actually, which is a little harder to get out of than in the middle of the dinner when you know, speeches are going on and all those sorts of things. So everyone's super proud of what they've done. We'll talk about the Teakle Classic post-interview.
Yep.
But great time had by all, including myself.
Sounds good. Water was flat, and I spoke to one Craig Garnett yesterday, and he said it was the best regatta he's done. It's the third in a row, so he loves it.
Yeah, well, you don't need me to endorse it anymore, but I will be. So get bloody used to it.
So John Schaefer, get your bingo card out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm sitting here with the water up to my knees, boys, just in case you're wondering.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, how's that going for
It
you?
is not good.
What did you do?
It is not good. It is not good. There's a lot. There's a lot of rain. So much rain. For the overseas listeners, where I'm based in Australia, is flooded, massively flooded. So we're locked in. I'm on the sunny coast, but Brisbane's completely stuffed now.
Yeah.
You can't get up to the sunny coast. The roadways are covered. So you can't come down from the north and you can't come up from the south. We're completely locked in, and the bottom of my street is flooded over, so you can't get out, although it's clearing up a bit. And I'm quite lucky. My house I'm on the water. All my neighbours are rich. I'm not. But my front lawn slopes down to the street, and my back lawn slopes down to the river, to the water. The sides of my house are flat next to my house, and yesterday morning I woke up and it was bucketing down, and the water wasn't getting out. It was trying to come into the house. So I had to dig trenches down the side of the house, and then because I had it backward, my lawn slopes down.
BP. How long you reckon that lasted till Jackie took over?
Oh yeah, not long.
I tried the old hoses first. I got the hoses and created a siphon and had them running down.
Oh, yeah.
But
You should have got my bilge pump out of the.
I was thinking, where's my bilge pump? Exactly. Well, they weren't moving enough water, so I got my mattock out and I just started digging trenches down the side of the house and across the lawn. I just got looking glamour. My beautiful lawn's just got a great big trench running through it and that's just sucked the water out, created a Venturi, and away it went. So we're good.
Beautiful.
Well, talk about.
Were you loyal to the foil? Did you have foil froth? Did you break her out?
on your front lawn. Yeah. Bit like our ice sailing and an ice skating rink.
We'll touch on that. We'll touch on that stuff later on, boys.
Talk about water really quickly before we get into, I guess. Did you see the football training video?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that, Vicey?
Well, if it was a guy doing laps around the oval, actually swimming.
Swimming around the oval, yeah.
Yeah, it makes a whole new sort of representative. Mate, go and do some laps, mate. You've been you were average on the weekend. How'd you go?
That's awesome.
Swimming around the football ground. Anyway, let's get on with it.
Let's bring in our guest for this week. We're pretty pumped. Good thing about this guest is he's done everything basically, but he won't tell you. You know, he's just one of those blokes that doesn't talk himself up. So we thought we'd get him on and talk him up ourselves. And it's
Unlike your good self.
I was waiting.
Love a good chat, don't you?
Anyway, so he's won the Sale GP, he's won the America's Cup, he's won the Sydney Hobart, and with a week out from the JJ Gilitinan, the world champs for the 18-foot skiff class, he's won that 6 times as well. So pretty standardly good sailor, you know, just your average good sailor. We're pretty pumped to have Sam Newton joining us on the show, mate. Great to speak to you.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
Welcome aboard,
while.
Sammy.
Took a
Sorry
while.
about that. We kind of crapped on a little bit at the start there, but and had you waiting in the wings. All right, straight to 1 week out of the JJs. Is this possibly you're going for your 7th? Probably the biggest thing going on in your life right now.
The JJs, this is the biggest regatta of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And
hang on.
yeah, week out. So
Hang on, ain't you going to Sale GP in a couple of weeks after that?
Yeah,
there's the
For $1
JJ
million
squad,
bucks?
mate.
they say it's $1 million, but yeah, we know how Slingers divides it all up. So.
All right, sorry to interrupt. Back to you, Sammy.
No, look, yeah, we're a week out. This is, you know, for the 18-foot skiff racing, this is sort of what you look forward to. And I was looking at it the other day, and I think this is my 13th season sailing an 18-foot skiff. So it's a little bit scary how old I might be getting right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's not that bad. You just have to ask us.
Yeah, true. So yeah, we're pumped. We've got a good squad this year. Got Matt Stenter on board in the middle, which is new to the team,
Pretty handy.
and got Sevi driving steering, which is pretty standard. That's happened for 12 years for me. And but yeah, and a great sponsor, the Andu, John Winning, and we're pumped.
Jeez, 18s must love John Winning, I tell you. That guy just gives and gives and gives.
I think it's the other way around, mate. John Winning loves the 18s.
Yeah, true. Well done.
No, he's
No, he's a legend.
great guy.
Yep, absolutely.
Sammy, you did you have any choice to become a sailor? Like, was it because I think your family's got a few other passions, from what I understand as well.
Yeah, look, I think as I understand the story, I sort of it was just a standard, 5 or 6 went to the little school holiday camp. My parents had sailed, but weren't sort of really into it, and I think their passion got born at the same time mine did.
Right.
And, so I sort of got excited about it, kept going. My sisters, I've got a couple of older sisters, 3 years apart. And they joined in for a few years. They didn't last too long, but, I stuck to it. And, my dad certainly loves his sailing, and he has his own boat. And, and my sisters grew apart quickly and chased boys at high school, but still have fond memories sailing in a Sabo with my sister when I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And where was that exactly?
So I grew up in Hunters Hill, which is sort of in the west. So Hunters Hill Sailing Club. And, so just racing around the Parramatta River in no wind, dodging river cats.
just across the way from the palace.
That's it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. So it was just like a school holiday camp, and the love just got formed, So that's a pretty unusual approach, I guess, not without having someone to sort of bring you into it. Why did you go to that? Why did you go on that little adventure at school holidays?
Yeah, I don't know. Look, Hunters Hill is a pretty small place, and there's not a lot to do. So you get down on the water, and it's a pretty good option. And I think it's a passion for sailing, but probably the bigger passion is just for being by the water. I just sort of love being in the water, whether it's the surf or out in the motorboat or wakeboarding behind the boat. And that's sort of all I did in my youth. Some of the teens were just sort of mucking around in tinnies all day long. Would try and kneeboard at any opportunity we could get out of school, and sailing is just another sport on the water, and to be able to compete was pretty cool. And I've certainly got a competitive edge, and so that was a great avenue to get that competition in for me. And yeah.
So when did it start for you, the competitive side of things? Obviously, when you start sailing, I mean, I'm going through it with my kids at the moment, and Bicey's about to do the same if they do. It's more sort of get them out there, have fun, enjoy yourself, and then there must be a moment, because a lot of kids won't click, but then there's some that do, and obviously you're one of the ones that did. When did you realise that, and what boat was it that you decided to, this is pretty cool, I'm going to give this a go?
Yeah, I don't know. I I was just level with the sort of upper guys, I guess, in like the Sabos and stuff, just enough to sort of scrape through to go to all the, interstate regattas. They sort of pick the top 10 or top 12 or something. So I was always just scraped through. So I was lucky enough to hang out with all those competitive kids, and then, went on to that into the Flying 11, and then went into the 29er. And that's, when I really, really got into it. And I started with a couple of people in the 29er, but settled in with a guy called Tom Clout.
Yep.
And, we were great schoolmates at the time, and we just were obsessed with the 29er. We just had a great time, and, we'd travel all around Australia, especially when we got our, P plates in the first couple of years, and go to all the regattas. And, that's probably when we won our first sort of national championship together in the 29er. And, I think from that point, I was pretty obsessed with the whole sailing thing, and it just sort of kept growing from there. Yeah.
This is just not to butt in, but it's a different pathway as far as the boats are concerned. And I think it's directly related, obviously, to your age in regards to, whether you go to a club, you don't get introduced to skiffs at call it from the medium age people till much, much later in life. And you've jumped in the 29er pretty much, or the Flying 11 for that matter, quite early. So
Bicey, he completely missed the rainbow.
Well, Rainbow won, not to mention the laser.
Yes.
But is that similar pathway now that, with all the guys with Sail GP and all those sorts of people that you sail with? Or it's a bit of a mixed bag?
I think it's a bit of a mixed bag for sure. Like, there's a lot of people that go down that, 420, 470 pathway. That sort of never appealed to me as much. I just never sort of took that route because it wasn't around me. But looking back at it, I feel quite blessed that I got to go down the 29er, 49er, and I was thrown in an 18-foot skiff when I was probably 18 years old, and, to jump on that. Well, earlier than that, but I think I did my first season when I was 18.
Yeah.
And you couldn't ask for a cooler boat. Like, they're just awesome. And as it turns out, the sort of world went that way, that sort of asymmetric apparent wind sailing, and, sailing far 40s in my early 20s, and by my late 20s, they're not around anymore. It's just all these, apparent wind sailing boats, and which sort of this whole foiling game is all about as well, really. So I'm sort of blessed, I think, that I got given this pathway early, and, it all worked out.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think getting to where you got to from where you started is pretty cool. So it's I mean, it's the 18-foot skiffs. We should stay on those because that's probably the where we're going over the next week. So sailing with Sevi and Maddie. That's a new crew with Maddie, yeah?
Yeah, new this season. So yeah, we had a bit of a rough start to the season with COVID and injuries, but we've had, I think, 4 weeks together now, like 4 solid weeks, which has been really good. So, we're feeling good. Boats fast. So we've really got no excuses. We've just got to go out there and sort of give it our best and sort of beat up on that red boat.
Jack McCartney for those listening in, I'm guessing.
Tech 2, I believe, yep.
Yep. Bit of an out there question, but why are the 18s so successful in your mind?
They just do the simple things, they just, I think, John Winning's all about, like, if you sign up as a skipper of an 18-footer, you sign a document basically saying you will be there every week. Like, there's no excuses. And I think you get 20 boats on the start line every week in Sydney Harbor, or 21 or whatever we have. It's pretty amazing. Like, you line up 20 of them next to each other, and it's quite a spectacle. And there's not many fleets in the harbour you can say you can do that. And by doing that, they attract these sponsors, which, they're not big money sponsors, but enough to sort of keep the class going. And they've got something to watch every week. It's not otherwise, Saturday night you have a few too many beers and you're like, do we really want to go out today? There's no wind or it's raining, Whereas, like, you have to turn up. If you're not going to turn up, your boat will be there and someone will take it out. And it just sort of, it just keeps it going, I think. And obviously the passion from a few individuals, like John Winning, to name one, just to keep the class going. They're week in, week out, donating their time, donating their money to the class, and, just keeping it pushing along. But, they're going to have to keep doing that. Someone's going to have to take over that legacy. And they're certainly going to have to keep evolving, like if they think they're going to be around forever, which, they're taking steps towards sort of getting in the youth guys into the class and, taking small steps, but at least they're heading in the right direction. And I think it will continue to be a strong class for the years to come for sure.
Cool. So JJ's next week. What's the format? How's it all pan out?
So it goes over, what does it go over? 8 days. So most days are one race days. So we do more like harbour courses, more orienteering sort of courses. Courses have been the same for probably, I don't know, I'm not a historian, but 50 years or something. And there's a couple of days we do double race days. But otherwise it's sort of one race a day, over the 8 days. And yeah.
No lay day or anything, so you can all go and play golf?
For those watching, so we've got an invitation race next Friday. Then we race Saturday, Sunday. We get Monday off, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, wow.
And I guess that's a really good point. You said for those watching, you can actually watch it live. It's streamed on Facebook, I believe. That's where the main thing is.
Yeah,
18-foot
Facebook, 18footers.com.au/live stream. So they got the, and it's good to watch. They've got the camera cat out there. They get the drones up, and it should be. I think we've got 25 boats on the start line, this weekend. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Jordan, you were full of praise last week of the commentary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love what those guys are doing. Speaking of commentary, did you get a call up, Jordan? Second best commentator in the world?
We did. Grant Rollison, wanted us to come down and do something, but...
Bloody flood.
No, but...
Hey, I'm pretty sure I live in Sydney.
Yeah, but Grant Rollison, as we all know, Rollo, he's a magic human being, but not the most organised, I would suggest, and he forgot.
Well, that sounds like a Barkarati program.
He sent me a note the other week and he said, just letting you know I've done absolutely nothing, completely forgot it.
Anyway. Well, Sam, sorry about that little sidetrack there. That sounds exciting. So who is the major competitors to look out for? Tech 2, obviously, with Jack. He's always been consistently there. He seems to be enjoying second place, though, quite a lot.
No, they're always up there. They're not normally there during the JJ, but
I love it.
Wham bam.
But, no, they've been good all season. And Michael Coxon, he's always been there, one of the old dogs. He's not going anywhere. Be interesting to see how Rollo goes with Luke Parkinson and Luke Payne. I think they could be, keep an eye out for them.
Do you reckon the two Lukes might go to blows? Do you reckon? They're both pretty strong-willed blokes.
He's the main. I'm not on main, mate.
Rollo be just cruising along and just watching the two Lukes. I could see some intensity on that boat. Anyway, go on. Sorry to distract.
But no, there's Harry Price. He's been going really well lately. I think he's on the Rag and Famish, and there's quite a few good guys out there now. And the level of the fleet's picking up. I think there's 5 new boats built this year, which has really helped the class. And so everyone's got good gear. Like when I say everyone, like the top guys are all sort of there to compete. They're all got good gear, and it's going to be an interesting week. And with the forecast, certainly it's got some breeze. Certainly to kick off the long range forecast. So that'll be a bit of fun. Hopefully we get some wind all week. And,
so what is the forecast? Sorry, BP, a bit of breeze at the start, yeah?
Yeah, so Saturday, Sunday, I think it's for like 15 to 20 knots both days. Obviously a long way out, but we've got our fingers crossed.
I think there's a cyclone going to form up next week. I'm pretty certain that's going to happen. So
we'll be racing rain, hail or shine. Woody has us out there.
Yeah.
35 knots, he'll send us out. So.
Obviously, the important thing, though, is that the New Zealanders have been pretty dominant the last...
that was my question. You just nailed it.
Oh, sorry, BP.
You can ask it, mate. Go on.
Yeah, the New Zealand teams have been pretty strong the last few JJs. It's been their baby. Obviously, they're not here. Not over.
Yeah, and that's really disappointing for us, and I think for Jack as well, not having them here. I think the whole border restrictions into New Zealand wasn't helping, and they had to make a decision quite a few weeks back to get the shipping here in time. And back then it wasn't looking good, and I think it's all opened up a little bit now. But yeah, it's disappointing because those guys have been the benchmark for the last couple of years, and we're certainly, we're looking forward to taking them on. So that will be missed, but hopefully they come back again next year. And
hope so.
You've got a German team in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they've been going well too. So Yeah, no, it's a good regatta.
And West Australian teams done that. That's another world over there.
Yeah, got WA,
the Republic of Western Australia.
couple from Queensland. So yeah.
Yeah, dear.
All right.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah, appliances online, they don't have private jets. They could go pick up a few boats.
Probably do. And that's how you get your stuff delivered next day. So trucks and jets going.
Just saying it. Just saying it.
We're just putting it out there.
Yeah, maybe. I
Rocking
don't
up-
know.
rocking-
Maybe they got no excuses. These Kiwis. Maybe they need to get out here.
That's
Yeah,
I've
right.
got a week.
hey,
Go and pick them up with a couple of washing machines in the fridge.
Go around the back of the plane.
can I ask, Jenny?
Go and sit in the holding load.
Genuine question, right? I was watching your 480 thing today, right? And in one of the races coming into the finish mark, Noakes Blue was coming back to the finish line on starboard jibe, and Noakes was coming in on port straight on the lay, and Noakes Blue jibed out, and I'm going,
Don't get in the way of
Mate,
the boss.
straight out of the F1
Don't get in the way of the boss.
Exactly.
Don't get in the way of the boss.
What's the rules
orders.
with winning if you do a cross with winning? Like, is there any sort of special rules where who you don't piss off and you do? Like who's writing the checks?
That's a good question.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's people you let through on port tack and people you don't. Like if you see poor old Woody coming through, you might wave him through.
Oh, Woody.
If you see Jack, think he's crossing you by half a length, we call
Oh,
him.
yeah, you take him.
Just bear down a bit. Yeah.
Apologies to Snoddy for lending me a Sharpie last year. We just seem to lamp on him every time.
No, it's pretty cool. Like the 18 sort of wax and wane, obviously have led. It's an interesting class because it has led the way in development for so many years. It was the forefront of sailing development for so many years. And now that's sort of been usurped by, you'd have to say, that, the falling class. Predominantly the Moth has taken over that role. It's a one design hull now with the 18s. Is there talk of any changes coming down the line with the 18s?
There's been, murmurs of looking to add some sort of foils to the boat, like a sort of T-rudder and sort of help with that heavy air stuff and sort of lift the big sort of wide sterns out a little bit. But I don't think they're ready for it. And, look, I don't think it's happening anytime soon. The class is sort of going strong, but, they are going to have to consider, what the next 5 years brings. But
It's going to have to be a magic formula, right? Because something that's been so successful for so long to deviate just the wrong way could kill it. But to maintain and evolve at a nice pace is I'm sure the heads behind it. This is pretty much the discussion they have.
From an onlooker though, when you look at the 18s and I see them, every weekend basically. When I see them on the water, I don't think it's for me as a sailing enthusiast. I just love them on the water. I don't need. They don't need to change. I just don't think they need to go this.
And that's
there was words a while back about foiling. I mean, no, don't.
No,
I reckon it could ruin it because they, as you say, they present well. Like they look cool.
Yes,
they're still fun to sail. Like as I said, I started sailing. I've done 12 seasons. I probably started 15 years ago, and there's still a great boat to sail. And I've sailed many different boats, and you can jump on the 18 on a Sunday, and you have a heap of fun. Like sailing with 3 of your mates, blasting around. They're still not easy to sail well. Get a bit of breeze, and they give you a thrill. They're cool boats.
Well, two of your mates and Sebi.
And the guy that yells at us.
I mean, we won't do just a pure 18 show here, but for the punter and literally the punter, there's on-water betting during the racing. How about beer bets between the teams?
Oh.
Beer bets.
Or whatever betting it might be. You can up it a couple of notches if you wish.
Yeah, there's been known for a couple of guys on our boat to bet on themselves. It's not me. And, I always find that interesting when we come second, third, fourth, see the reaction on the back of the boat.
We know.
Betting's cool.
We know who's bet on themselves today.
Yeah, but it's good for the punters. I bring mates down. They don't like sailing, but they love punting and they love beer. So it's just they just go on the ferry. They don't even know what they're watching. Oh. But it's cool. It's like the blue spinnaker or the red spinnaker. They love it. That's why, and that's probably another thing that keeps the classes so successful. Absolutely. Get that following. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that one, and I think that's what I was just saying to a second ago. That when you see them on the water, and it is spectacular. And anyone who comes to Sydney on a Sunday, get out there and have a watch. Yeah. If you're there for the JJs, even better. All right.
Very cool. All right. So next week, JJs kicks off. Everyone get on board, and you can watch it online. Mate, you're pretty accomplished across a whole range of boats. So, you're a man in demand. First question, do you qualify for the Ginga Challenge?
I think so.
Pretty close. I just had a shave then and it was a bit of ginger, yeah.
Right, there we go.
Well, he's in then.
I figured
I always had you in.
Mate.
No, always.
Unless you want to punch up, jump on board with these bloody blokes.
All right, better go.
No, you'll be right. You'll be right.
No. Yeah, Jimmy, slingers.
Well, Jimmy's in the sewer, so that's all right.
Right, Langers apparently not, but downstairs, yep. It's in the team.
Right.
Anyway, move on.
Moving on. Okay, so obviously as soon as the JJ's finishes, you're digging your passport out and you're off to San Fran to go flying around San Fran Harbour. Fired up about that one, or you're scared of getting cold, or what?
No, we're psyched. It's been too long between events. SailGP is normally pretty regular, all through last sort of year, and we had this sort of big break between Sydney and San Fran. So we catch up on the phone every now and again, and as a team. But it's just man, I'm eager to get there, get through this skiff race, and get sailing. Absolutely, it's going to be cold.
It's going to be very cold,
freezing.
I was driving home tonight from the event I was in, and I was sort of thinking about what I was going to ask you, and I was going to sort of say to you, I grew up barefoot water skiing and know how hard water can be. There was a famous photo or video of you, and particularly of you, when you were dodging one of the boats in front of you, having a bit of a wipeout, and the spray coming over the boat knocked your glasses off, and you were continually grinding, and you didn't stop. The water, it must be hard at that speed. Yeah. Well, I'm lucky, because I'm in position 2, so I face forward.
Yeah.
But I've got a bit of a blocker, so normally I've either got, Kai Hurst in our first season, he was in front of me, more Kinley Fowler more recently, so they normally take the grunt of it.
Not in this case, they didn't.
I'd sort of take the residual, But yeah, they get beaten up. I remember in San Francisco in the first season, we had a big nosedive at 46 knots going in the finish, and copped the back of Kai's head, ripped his helmet off. He smashed his face on the pedestal, and it's a lot of water power, that's for sure, because you stop quickly when you stop.
Yeah.
So with the SailGP strategy, because obviously it's pretty important. You guys are number one boat currently, so you're going in as the favourites. You're the defending champs technically, 2019. The whole sort of thing, unless we count the one race in Sydney. Going into San Fran, everyone knows where you're racing is a one-way track. But, the track's so narrow, it really doesn't matter where you are on the course. Is there any sort of strategy discussions that you're willing to share around the whole approach, or is it just stay warm?
Yeah, stay warm. No, look, you're restricted by the course boundaries, so the guys, I play less of a role in this whole tactical strategic planning, but you got to plan around sort of what turn you want, top and bottom gates. And, although they're normally pretty square to the breeze, like you're always going to get favoured sides. And just you want to minimise, the tacks and jibes up the beats and make sure you get the roundings you want. So, it's a little bit different to, like a regular boat where you might, doing a 20-minute beat, we're doing 3 or 4 minute beats. So you sort of might do 2 boundary tacks, and it's all about protecting a side or protecting the left turn, right turn. That's what it's all about. So you try and map that out. But yeah, no, I'm sure Tom's got a plan. That's all he thinks about. Every time you see Tom, he's either just watching sailing or talking about it. So he's pretty into it.
Pretty into it, yeah.
I love it.
That sums it up.
I'm interested with your life insurance, right? When
Or lack of.
Yeah, when you go in to do Sail GP, Team Australia, you sign up and they do the insurance because, Sail GP, you've got to be insured to be part of it. And you tell them that you got Kyle Langford and Jace Waterhouse on the boat. How does that conversation go?
And I'm sure we don't have insurance. I hope
do.
we do. But, yeah, well, I think once upon a time, I remember it was in COVID, they're like, yeah, just call up and get your own insurance. I'm like, what am I going to say to this guy? We're going into deep COVID, into Europe. Let's go get COVID and race these crazy boats and see if we can, not have an accident. But yeah.
Just go to the sailgp.com page and just check that out. Go to videos, actually.
Yeah, that'd be the highlights reel on YouTube, yeah.
How fast do the boats go? Oh, well, in layman terms, 100 kilometres an hour. Oh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wear seatbelts. A bit of a tether, but that's about it.
Yeah, and touch wood, we've everyone's been safe, but there's certainly some potential there, and but they take it seriously, and we take it seriously as a team. But let's hope nothing ever happens.
I mean, the final has sort of got really mixed up with that crash between the Poms and Japan in Sydney. That sort of gapped you out a little bit. In the final, who's it going to be? Who you guys are going to make the final, and who else?
Yeah, look, I think we've sort of guaranteed ourselves a spot now, which is good. It looks like it's most certainly Jimmy Spithill with the US team and Nathan Outridge on Team Japan.
Australia A, B and C.
That's it. Right. So, yeah, I mean, we raced Tom.
Prime Minister's 11. Larry's 11.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Australian final. No, it's good. It's good for the country, isn't it? But, look, I don't know. It's the whole free-boat match racing thing is just a whole new thing. We're still trying to get our heads around it now, what's the best way to approach a start. And it's all about, getting off the blocks and around that first reach mark and try and gap out from there.
It was a topic of discussion. It was a topic of discussion when you had Sydney, Sail GP Sydney, about that, and we just brought it up. About how the whole week is fleet racing, and then the last race is the three boats, and inevitably there's always something happens to one boat. Out of all the finishes, if you look, there's something that happens to one boat, and whether it's a mark rounding or an incident or something that ends up to be quite monotonous in terms of how it ends up. Is that something that's being talked about, or is it going to stay in that format?
No, I think as far as I know, they're going to keep the three-boat match racing. I think it's quite good. I think, for the punters, it just sort of adds another element. Yep. And, if you, as you say, like if one of the two boats has a bad start or has an issue with the boat, it becomes a one-horse race. And I think with the three boats, you can never sort of lie down. You keep going to the end. And so, but that's certainly the format they're looking to keep in the near future.
All jokes aside about the Aussies, what's Larry and Russell thinking? Do they want to see basically another dominant nation here, or a bit of a dark horse come through? Are there any plans for the future for some sort of wild card thing to happen? We see Phil now with the Canadians, right?
Canadians.
How many flags can that one bloke have?
I know, right? I don't know. We always joke that Russell's got the big red button. You actually go out there. I think it was like Saint-Tropez, and just could not get our boat to work. And I think the boys had won the regatta or two before, and suddenly now Russell's hit the big red button, and our boat wouldn't even operate. We couldn't even get to the start line. So I think he's got more control than we realise.
I reckon you're right.
Yeah,
no one doubts that for a second.
Hey. Sorry, guys. I just want to touch back on. We mentioned earlier about the Japan Great Britain incident. Is that a topic that comes up at briefings, with the teams about this? I mean, we haven't seen it yet, and God forbid we don't see it. But these boats are super high speed, and there's a lot of things on those boats that are sharp and all that jazz. Is it a topic that's talked about often? Having crashes.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I agree. We've had so many crashes by ourselves now, and touch wood, they've been okay. We've got a lot of safety gear and protocols in place, but when you bring boats together, that's for sure the highest risk situation we have.
Yep.
And typically going on there sort of when you can't see, like in Ben's incident, didn't see Nathan, or coming along that reach and sort of losing grip with the foils and getting a big side slip on the boat next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the highest risk for sure. But after that incident, they created a safety panel, which is led by the sailors. And, there's a few key names on that panel through the skippers, including, Tom Slingsby on our team. And that's designed to sort of, mitigate any of these risks. And, they've got a lot of things. Like we've actually got software on the wings now, which sort of tell you where other boats are, like you can't see. So like it's almost like, your car will alert you of a, upcoming accident. Oh. And so, we've got that. And we actually had that at that time, but there's a software, not a glitch, but we'd actually, as the sailors have turned it off in the pre-start and chosen for it to not populate our screens, but there might be a hybrid there where you can still get your start information and, the alerts could come, in a smaller format. So you're still getting them. But, some pretty cool technology there. And then just all the basic things about, visibility through sails and windows and all of that, and using, utilising our sixth person to be a bit more of a spotter. But everyone takes it seriously because no one wants, the boats to come together. It's not good for anyone. And, yeah.
Mm.
Where do you stand? We've often joked about it, but we reckon that Sail GP will end up with just one helmsman at some point in time. And we've seen it down to 3. Has there been a bit of talk in the camp?
Double handing.
Or anything along those lines?
I'm so surprised we came back on the boat, to be honest. After, a couple of regattas, we were sailing 3 up. I didn't think we were going to get back on our front pedestal. I thought we were done with. But there's no doubt they could sail the boats with one person. They got the technology there, and that's the scary thing. None of us needed. But I guess that they think, maybe we've got to have a few of us for the show. How are you going to sell it? It's all about the athletes if you got no one on board. So.
Oh, yeah, Barcrow would be fucked also. We would have no one to joke about.
Straight away.
Langers, couldn't take the piss out of him too much.
Hey,
comments from the super coach.
When you drop down to 3 only and you're having the afternoon off, do you get paid that day?
Well, it's tricky. You got to you'll get paid, but it's all about the prize money these days. So to qualify for any prize money, you've got to be racing on the boat. So if you had a whole weekend sitting in the chase boat, you wouldn't get it. And say you won $1 million, and well, take it back. Say you won an event. And you actually went on the boat for that weekend because you're sitting in the chase boat in your wetsuit, just sweating it out. you just get 0. So you definitely want to get on the boat.
There is an incentive.
I'm willing to go on record now and suggest that the weather in San Francisco will be 25 knots.
She's
25 to 30.
So I might be lucky. I might be on board.
You might be all right. She does go. But one of the things when I was in Sydney for it was that I didn't, before, I watch every episode, let's be honest, it's a TV show. Let's call it episodes.
Episodes, I
watched every episode. And you don't think there's that much in the way of passing lanes. But in Sydney, I noticed when you see a pressure line come down, if you hook onto one of those pressure lines, you make some big gains on those. Like that, there is definitely passing lanes out there on those boats.
No, for sure. And, quite often, I think in Sydney, we didn't get out of the blocks that well at times, and, we could sail our way back through the fleet. We sort of had the boat speed, and it's all about the course positioning after that, unless it's a really one-sided track where there's, only one rounding you can do at the bottom. There's always opportunities to come back. And, there used to be more, back in the day, there was more opportunities, but because now everyone's sailing so much better and the full attack and full driving, you're not going to wait for someone to fall off the force because it just doesn't happen that often. But, there's still plenty of passing lanes. Like, it's not like who gets the first reach mark wins by any means.
In relation to Sydney, I was going to say, local knowledge might have helped. Then I thought about the fleet. Majority of the people are local. Even Ben Ainsley could be considered local after, winning gold.
The game,
So that's really not an issue.
Yeah, but from a personal point of view, not only you but all the other crew members, like the fitness you got to maintain, all those sorts of things. Is it pretty strict? Do you have weight limits? All those sorts of things?
Because it looks like you let yourself go.
No, we've all got weight. So you got a max weight for the boat. Kyle takes up most of that, so there's a little bit less for the rest of it. But, and you guarantee that whatever his target is, he'll be 5 over when he turns up.
Does he break a lot of stuff? Does he really break a lot of stuff?
God, no, he's all right. He's all right. But no, look, as the guys on the front, obviously we're doing most of the physical work.
Yep.
It's certainly a lot easier than it was on this sort of generation of boat when we're doing the America's Cup. That was sort of an absolute arse whipping. Now it's not so bad, but saying that you've got to be sort of pretty damn fit and just do a lot of grinding. So, my main focus, and I think Kinley Fowler spends most of the time on the handles with me. We just try and do a lot of grinding and just time on the handles. So lucky enough to have a grinding machine at home, which I sort of snuck out of the base during COVID a couple of years back, and now it sits here, and I just do as many hours as a week I can. Wow. Certainly with San Fran 4 weeks away, that's my focus at the moment, just grinding.
Do your kids just like look at you as you're just
what are you doing?
Grinding? Like, what are you doing, Dad?
I got my 5-year-old daughter on the handles, so she gets into it now.
She's getting ready.
Getting ready.
Got it hooked up to a lithium-ion battery.
Yeah, so, Bicey, you used to do a lot of that bike riding where you got the screen in front of you. When you could choose a race and you could join in with a live race, or you
Swift and stuff. Yeah,
you could do all that. So that's on a bike, right? So Sam,
you could do it. You could be Louis over in Antigua. It's got a couple of old sticks tied together.
So I'm saying you've got a video in front of you of just waves coming at you, and just stupid speeds, water going past you, other boats, and just to keep you entertained.
Mate, I listen to podcasts like this, and listen to you guys. You just got to, if you're doing a long grind, you just got to sort of have something to get you through it. If you're going to do an hour and a half, or if you're doing a short 20-minute session, then the last thing you want to do is put a podcast on. You sort of go for some heavy metal or something that's going to get you into
this one. Have a bit of a snore on the intros, especially.
Good warm-up.
What with the long ones? Do you just aim for a certain wattage, certain output?
Yeah. We're trying to work in heart rate bands, so you just sort of try and keep your heart rate at a certain percentage. And if you're going to try and do an hour and a half, 2 hour grind, you got to keep it realistic and keep that levels down, and then you save your sort of high heart rate stuff for different sessions. I was never really a big sort of gym guy, and I don't have a lot of experience with it. And I was lucky enough to sort of be, by the side of Kai Hurst through the whole of Bermuda, and he taught me a lot, and how to manage yourself and how to train. And so I learned a lot from him, and still just using all the tips he gave me before he left us, and I still hang on to that today. And
sure.
So what is peak heart rate? For example, in a race, you're monitoring yourself. What's your record?
It gets up there 95%. In terms of the heart rate, I'm not sure what that is, but it's well up there.
Fair enough.
We're max effort, in Cadiz in Spain, that one we were talking about, we had the big waves over the front, losing my glasses and all that. That was certainly a high heart rate day. That was an absolute max effort that day. So
probably a bit of sphincter rate as well by the crash that's going on in front of you.
Yeah, a bit of that, bit too much wind. Had the big wing on, not the small wing. Everything was going against us. So, yeah,
it's cool. I'll be over to make sure you're all right, mate. I'll be there just to escort you around and make sure you're safe and doing all the right things.
Bit of coaching.
Spare pair of glasses.
So just watch out.
Moral support.
Floating around right where you're trying to have a relax. I know your little hiding spots. So we need to. So good luck is what I'm trying to get to. Good luck for
boys.
The Australian team.
We'll start with that,
mate. There's a few interesting questions here for you, because what is this like? I don't even know how to bring this in. Rally. I found some photos of you, right, in a rally from London to Cape Town or something in a VC Commodore. Like the most,
nice.
what the Bicey's eyes just pricked up right then as soon as we said the Commodore driving from London to South Africa. Is that right? Is that you?
Yeah, that was me. It's out there. I mean, that's my father's passion. You know, he's obsessed with, you know, hanging with his mates in cars, and so he spends his days playing in the garage, pulling cars apart. He buys them on eBay. You know, one rolls in every month, and he pulls it apart, sells it. And he does a lot of, you know, these fun rallies and a few competitive ones. And so, yeah, I joined, this is one of the biggest ones, or one of the biggest ones they've done, from London to Cape Town. Yeah, so we did 28,000 kilometres in 14 days. Sorry, 14,000 kilometres in 28 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Through 14 countries. So
amazing.
It was, it was an absolute awesome life experience, and nothing you can probably, I don't think you'd ever be able to repeat it, you know, with all the turmoil going on and, you know, all the parts of the world at the moment. I don't think you'd be able to pull it off. Yeah. It was pretty special, and something pretty cool to do with the old man as well.
The VC,
you know,
how many? Just put it into perspective here. VC Commodore.
Yep.
Did you load up on the VB before you went? A couple of bungers, packets of burners.
I think we had a couple of VBs snuck in the back when we shipped it. And, it's got a funny story. We actually, you know, my dad loves doing everything the hard way, so we found this old VC Commodore. It's an old, like, Peter Brock. You know, I know nothing about cars, so I'll be honest here. But it was part of the Round Australia rally.
Yeah, I know
the car was built for that rally.
Oh, yep.
And so it had a lot of work pre-done to it, and it had been sitting in a farm just rusting away, you know, in the long grass for probably close to 10 years. And that's when my dad found it, you know, obviously got it for a bargain. And that's what we did for the next year after that, you know, started by gurning the thing off and inside to out, scraping all the rust off and building it from, you know, the wheels up, and to get to a point where we could, you know, bash it through 14,000 Ks through some of the pretty tough terrain. So awesome life experience, and, you know, I hope I can do that with my kids, something, you know, that cool. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm thinking of it now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Rack them up in the old Land Rover.
It's
14,000 miles, though.
Yeah. I was just going to say,
Probably
Bicey's
about 36 months.
Bicey's in his garage every night working on his car, but he doesn't have a passion for it. It just breaks down every day.
Oh, beauty. So throughout the rally, did you just wear thongs? You didn't have a particular rally suit as such?
I think I was wearing thongs. I just don't wear shoes. So, and the last thing I like is, you're driving in shoes. It just feels weird to me because I just never do it. So, but yeah, I actually probably spent 90% of that rallying in thongs. It's so bloody hot. We spent most of the time driving through Africa. Once you get out of Europe and, you know, you're up in Greece and we're up in the snow, coming to Egypt, and it just gets hot. Like, it was just hot, dusty, dirty, just, you know, absolute hell for the next 2-3 weeks. But
wow.
Yeah.
So were these the same thongs that you wore at your wedding?
Wondering where you're going there. How do you get this info? The thongs at the wedding, yeah. I was just checking in, make sure I had the right girl. So turns out I had the right girl. So she let me wear thongs to the wedding. I didn't even really want to, but I had to after that, you know, just to prove a point.
Prove a point, exactly.
Mate, you were all suited up. Surely you weren't wearing thongs. You were all suited up and you were in thongs.
I did, yeah. I had a pair of blue Havianas in my suit. Looking back on it now, it's just sort of, can't believe I did it. But, just showed I got the right girl with me. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, good on you, mate.
Shout out to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is pretty cool. Like, obviously in the photos, you know, you've got the photos there. Like, if you have... Yeah, right. I love it.
All in the thongs, yeah. Not sure the father-in-law was too impressed, but... yeah.
That's pretty cool. We have to hit you on another one too. Is that you got a nickname, right? Now this cuts close to home. You know, we know this nickname, Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank. Yeah, father-in-law is called Frank, and I think that's his nickname before me. But Yeah, I don't know. This is where this come from. It's probably come from bloody Kyle Langford or something.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Probably
where
under the
our
basket.
information comes from. We can't share this sort of stuff.
We can't divulge that sort of information.
But I will say, Bicey's brother-in-law, when he has a few beers, he becomes known as Frank the Tank. And I'm trying to remember the movie that was out of, but I'm just intrigued. Like, what
Old
do
school.
they call?
Yeah.
Old
Old
school,
school.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. So it has a direct relationship with the movie Old School, is what I'm thinking.
No, I don't think it does. But
Oh, okay.
we just, I just love to celebrate. So celebrate with the boys after, a good regatta. And maybe it's just, just love having fun.
Well, I've just received some late mail from one of your ex-teammates. His nickname is Frank the Tank. Get him to explain it in detail.
In detail. But he's going to have to jump on and explain it. Maybe get him on the next podcast.
Nothing given away. All right, we're trying to sell you down the river, mate. So there's not much you haven't done, really, because you've done a little bit of the Volvo. You won the America's Cup on the Oracle. What was the mood like? Because that was the one in San Fran on the 72s. Going in, you're buried, you're deep. Did you guys, what was the mood going in when you're, 900 races down with 901 to go?
Yeah, it's not good. Not good. You're just sort of counting your days, and you think, oh no, we're always going to get it, but we're sort of like, oh shit, what are we going to do tomorrow when we lose? It's like, we're going to pack our bags. Where are we going next? We just moved over from Australia with a suitcase 2 years earlier, and you're just trying to work out the next phase of your life. But at the same time, everyone is just giving it their all, and we had Russell sort of leading the team back then, and as he does now, well, did in the last cup. But he just sort of kept everyone pushing, and as you probably heard from Kyle and the boys in their podcast, like they just never stopped. They worked around the clock. We had a team of about 120 people back then in San Francisco on the shore team, and it's just incredible what those guys can make happen in a night. Like, it's just unbelievable. And I was, that boat, that's the boat standing behind me, as you can probably see this thing. And, you look back at those 72s and just unbelievable boats. The scale of them, even compared to, the 50s we sail now, like there must be 3 times the size when you step on board.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure.
And, but yeah, no, the guys just never gave up, and it's just great team attitude, and they just pushed to the end. And yeah, I don't know, what do you say? Yes, it sort of all went our way in the end.
No, it's just cool. Like when when you're a little kid thinking about your sailing career, if you said, won the America's Cup, won the Sydney Hobart, won the JJs, won the Sail GP. Like if somebody said to you as a 15-year-old kid or a 17-year-old kid, is you doing the 29er and got your P plates on, and said this is what it's going to be like in 10 or 12 years' time, would you have believed him?
No, absolutely not. No. Yeah, look, I was just, I've had a really, I've been blessed in my career. I've just sort of been lucky at the right time, and, met a lot of good people along the way, and just got a lot of good breaks. And, I think you've got to have a bit of that to sort of go to all these, get on these cool boats and have so much success. And it's just the people I'm around. And yeah, and it's funny enough, I've spent probably 90% of my sailing life in, whether it's the America's Cup or the skiffs. And, I was looking at it today, and I've sailed 12 years, on the skiff with Sevi Jarvin, and did probably, 6 years of match racing with him before that. And the 2 America's Cup.
On the Etchells now as well. Still.
And now sail the Etchells with him, a day or 2 a week. And and then, I'm sailing with Tom Slingsby. I sailed with him in San Francisco on the AC-72, then did the 50s in Bermuda with him. And then, done the last 2 sail GPs with him as well. So, it's a pretty tight group of, guys that I've sailed with over these sort of 15, 20 years of my sailing career. So.
It's interesting, isn't it? But you guys, you'll be observing this now, like you guys, because you were there at the start, you've brought a unique skill set right through. You've sort of evolved everything that's happening with these falling cats, these falling boats, the wing sails. So you've got this knowledge across the whole range, and you'll be seeing with the bringing the female team members in, the learning curve that they're trying to accelerate through, the stuff that you've learned over 10 years or 12 years, and so it's there's a barrier to entry, to jump in and take your role. It's not that easy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I look at the guys and the new teams that come in to, look at the Sail GP as an example, and it's amazing that these guys can come in, do 2 weeks of training, and they're out there full attack, full driving, and we spent years trying to do that. Yeah, and so it's a big shout out, I guess, to the designers and to the sailors that have developed the boats to where they are today, that you can come on and be full attacking within a couple of days. It's pretty impressive. But saying that, there's a lot of lessons you learn across those years, and you see them, when the breeze gets up and the mistakes happen of all the things we've done before, folding the wing in half, pitch poling the boat, like we've done it all before, So we're lucky enough to do it through these America's Cup campaigns where you sort of got a lot of resource and a little bit more time than pitch bowling the F50 the day before the Sail GP event.
Sure.
But you just make all these mistakes.
But that's what I'm saying. You guys, there's a small group of you guys that have got all that experience. So it's incredibly valuable what you've got. And obviously, people will catch up, but you're going to have a full career because it's that knowledge that you've got, that experience you've got, just can't be quickly replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think we're lucky, and we've got a tight group. So our group of sailors are me and Kyle, Kinley, Tom. Yep. We've gone back, as I say, to 2011 is when we all sort of got hired at Oracle. So that's 11 years strong sailing on catamarans. And then you throw in silver medalists and Jason Waterhouse and Ed Powys into the mix, and we've got a bloody strong team. And and you're just all close mates, and I think that's one of the big things as well, just being tight group.
So when you sit down as a group over the dinner table, right, and you're having conversations, who's eating more food? Is it you or Langford? Like who wins?
Or Langford's kid.
Or Langford's kid, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably eat more in the main meal, and then Langford's quite the dessert eater, so he beats me in the dessert part. Yeah, yeah, we don't hold back, that's for sure.
No.
I bet.
And who's the king of the banter?
King of banter.
Kinley's pretty hard out on it. Is that correct?
Yeah, Kinley thinks he's a funny man. And Kyle stirs all the shit. Kinley's got good banter. He's got good banter. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a solid squad, and I wouldn't want to sail with anyone else. And I think that's looking back through my sailing career, it's like I just like sailing with guys that I want to sail with. I don't want to just send emails or phone calls to randoms I don't know to try and jump on their sailing team. I just enjoy sailing with people I want to sail with. And
the no dickhead role, we call it.
Yeah, I think that's what our team's got, and it's awesome. Why would you want to sail with a bunch of dickheads?
Exactly.
Yeah, true, mate. True. But so let's expand that a little bit. The entire Sail GP program. I mean, they're all talented sailors. We know that for a fact. And most of the people, the names on those boats, they're all really cool people. So obviously, it must be a good little circus to be involved with. Full stop, right?
Yeah. Look, you look at the the lineup of the skippers out there, and it's a pretty cool thing to be involved in, and it's actually it's quite good fun. And I think we're going into this season, we've got 10 events lined up. It's really regular racing. It sort of keeps you engaged. It's like any other boat you sail. It's not like the cut where you're like, where is it, when is it? I'm really enjoying Sail GP. I think the guys on our boat are all really enjoying it, and I know the spectators are all loving it. And we've got more boats this year, 10 boats. I said 10 events, and Larry's ambition for the future is it's going to be a lot more boats, a lot more events, and I think in 5 years' time it's going to be an absolutely outstanding format. So,
do you ever get together, all of you, and go out and have a couple of quieties at a little private place after an event, or is it sort of just go your own way after each event?
Oh, you split pretty quick, but most of the time we get the last night in, which is always a bit of fun. And but yeah, whilst we're all Aussies, we're sort of all spread around the globe. So that's the whole professional sailing program. We all have to scatter to the next event. But yeah,
do you reckon Russell and Larry have just got the little quiet smirk on when they're lining up this year for 10 boats, 10 events, and the future is just looking better and better, and the show itself is just getting better and better, and then they look over towards the cup and it's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, they must be happy, surely. Yeah. No, it's just, just making SailGP look better every day, so. Yeah.
It's by all means we do. Yeah, it's pretty sad. We haven't even got anything out yet. Meant to be a venue announced in 4 weeks' time. And now there's even more speculation that there's some more stuff mounted out of Auckland. But, I mean, we all obviously want to see it happen and thrive, but we want to see as many boats on the line as we can, right?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But, I mean, the Cup, it's always going to be cool. Like, it's an American Cup. It's sick. Like, the boats are going to be awesome. Yep. It's going to be great racing. It's just a pity that there's such a delay, and there's no sort of, they can't get that sort of material out to the world and make some decisions. What's going on? Just give us something to look forward to. Yeah.
Very cool. Hey Jay, do you mind if I just ask you something? I'm going to change tacks a little bit. I'm just going to go back to your car trip, Sam, if you don't mind. Is that okay if I go back to your car trip? I'm going to show you. I disappeared when you mentioned the car. Okay. I'm gonna do something here really quickly.
Going to show you Bogan Pass?
No. I'm going to put a photo up. I don't know if you can see this photo to our two listeners. The little person sitting in the seat is me, and the two people sitting next to me is Peter Brock and his navigator in that car.
Oh,
the rally, the 05 rally,
the Repco round the world, round Australia rideability trial. We were on a control with that car, and that's me sitting next to Peter Brock.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. I always thought we were aligned in some way.
You have your thongs on, mate?
Yeah, I had my thongs on. That was the middle of winter in Broken Hill. So I ran off. When you said you had that car, because it was obviously the same one, it's off we go.
Got the photo. BP.
Got the photo.
Nice.
Yeah. How cool is that? Tell your dad.
You got that out quick. Nice.
Yeah, well, because it was in a section of very special photos. It was a very special moment. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to say. Thanks, Jay.
Very cool. Well, we're pretty much done for our time anyway. So we're probably coming to the logical conclusion of the interview. Pretty pumped for you for next week, mate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm hoping you go well, and be pretty pumped for you. Obviously, we've got mates on all the boats in the 18s. We've got mates on all the boats in the SailGP. So we'll be as pumped as we can be. But yeah, all the best, mate.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
We'll be, watching closely.
We'll try and make it interesting for everyone.
Bloody oath. Nice, mate. Thanks for joining.
Cheers, guys.
Good on you, Sammy. Well done, mate. Good to see you.
Cheers. Bye.
Top of his game, Sam Newton.
There's no question.
Kind of excelled in all the pointy ends, if that makes sense.
Yep.
America's Cup, SailGP, the 18s, all those, loyal to the full froth, all that sort of stuff.
Not a bad resume. Not a bad resume, is it?
No, it's pretty impressive.
This is probably, I couldn't even tell you the year, but would have been a good 12, 15 years ago, sailed with Sam on the Wild Oaks in Hamo.
Yes, you would have, yep.
You can just tell people are just bloody good.
Yep.
Good temper, know exactly what's going on. And he's definitely one of those guys. So good to see him succeed.
Always
very well.
Known him for best part of 20 years myself, and he definitely from day one. Well, that would have been, in fact, it was his 29er days because I was up there with the 49ers. So it was then. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Cool. Yep.
Well, cool. Good work, Sam.
Awesome. Rock and roll.
Very popular bloke too. I'll say that. For those who know him, club events, BP 5.5. So let's talk about them. Give it quick.
Love it. We all meant to go quick.
No. Just saying.
No. Look, it's on at the RPA in Ritz Royal Prince Alfred Yacht Club in Pittwater in Sydney. I think there's only 11 boats, but it's the New South Wales or New South Wales titles, Australian titles, whatever you want to call them. And it's combined with all the different age groups of boats. So obviously there's a boats built over many years. And I was lucky enough to get an invite to go and sail on a Frank Tolhurst 1983. So it's an Evolution boat. And they are cool boats. I love them.
Super cool boats.
What's the newest boat in the fleet?
Well, John Bacon's got his newest boat, preparing to send it next week over to Europe for the Worlds, which are back on again, which he's currently holding the cup. Obviously, just before COVID breakout, they had it here in Australia, as you know, in 2019. So he's sending his boat over, and I was lucky enough to have a very close look at his boat this morning. I mean, they're beautiful. They are just beautiful boats.
Super cool.
Yeah, and
sexy.
you're not allowed to have labels on anything. It's all just not allowed. No labels.
Wow.
That's the club. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Now on
World
that,
Sailing Rule 6.3.
that's it. Yep, no labels. Can't have labels. Anyway, that's how it is. We were allowed labels today because it was our first ever day on a 5.5.
As in pull this rope, push that rope, or
Yeah.
as
basically.
in Ronston and Harkin?
Yeah, no, just they have got some controls, dude. Let me tell you. Anyway,
All right, so that's on day one today. You got a couple more days to come.
absolutely. And from that, we got a letter from a Mr. Anon.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
who that is, but Mr. Anon. I don't know whether you might.
A mussy.
Anonymous. He goes on. He starts off. I'm not going to read the whole thing out because it's obviously a bit boring. But anyway, he starts off just to mention David Booth was a respected sailor on RPA, in which they had a regatta on for him yesterday, but rolled straight in to the 5.5s, and we're just going to go through that quickly. He goes on to mention to say, no, it's not the 505s, Jordan. So he knows you. We don't know who this guy is. It is the International 5.5 Nationals for the first 3 days after squeezing in the 2020 Worlds a month before the pandemic. RPA is expecting a variety of Aussie boats to return, blah, 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 on it goes. The Festival of Fives, they're calling it, continues with the boats joining what is possibly the biggest twilight fleet in the world. The Great Woody Point Wednesday night compete for the Pittwater Gold Cup. And it goes on to say that these trophies are pieces of ancient sailing history, and RPA has become the current custodian of the class in Australia. Rumours flying around that M11s actually measure in the 5.5s.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
So a bulked up fleet could be on the cards this year. Beers will be had, Mr. Anon.
A muss. Does he write all your material for you?
I'm just reading it out.
Love it. Yeah, very cool.
Anyway.
Enjoy it, mate.
So yes, the 5.5 Nationals are on, and it's great fun.
Well, they're clearly 505s, mate. It's just it's the smallest O you've ever seen. It's a little dot.
Very small. You're right. It's just
You got to do it with a .08 pacer pencil.
or a special pen that's got a hole in the middle, so it actually makes an O. I love it. There you go. So from Mr. Anon, thank you, Mr. Anon, for your letter.
Cool. All right. Jack Lloyd, Listener of the Week. I'm not doing the music because I'm not sure our legalities on that. I did have it all wired up, but I did it last week.
Actually, the music, I went to the basketball today, Jordan.
Yes.
This is a little side thing, and I was listening to all the music that they were playing.
Yeah.
And I can imagine when you're on the on-court announcer and the music you would have been playing,
Oh, yeah.
they just would have been rocking out to the Teskey Brothers, a bit of Ben the Man. Whereas at the basketball today, it's literally halftime at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you, with all the shit going on.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, it was funny.
It's hilarious. Yeah, no, we did have some conflict at times because I'm pretty determined that I know I'm right.
So I wouldn't even worry about that legal stuff. Just
put
get
it up.
the Van the Man on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, we did play In the Mystic last week, which is one of Jack's favourites. So we had some great listeners to the weeks.
Plenty coming in.
It's too hard to pick. So we got a heap to get through. Scott Patton,
Let's come back for another dig.
ice skating, wing dinging. Right, so the whole stadium thing. Right,
This is a whole nother division.
take the whole skating, the whole stadium thing. Right, forget the ice boats. Just put them on wings and
No, it's a different
And
race,
skates.
different thing.
It's
another whole event.
Yeah, well, I'll get to that in a sec.
Another discipline, you think?
I'll get to that in a sec. Just embrace this one, right?
All right, sorry. Stand by.
So wingdings on skates, it's a genius idea. Love it.
I love it. Yep.
Love it. Yeah, a falling skates would be even better. Ryan Marby, he came through. Ryan Marby sent a link onto the whole story why ice boating is not in the Winter Olympics. Oh, like it's a 10-year saga.
Oh, is it? So this is a whole new thing we're opening up here.
No, mate.
We haven't opened it up. We've just tapped into it.
Yeah, we've just kicked a can of an ant's nest, and we've just a few people shook out and said, "Go away, don't open that up again." So anyway, I can say with certainty that ice boating will not be in the Winter Olympics.
Not even in an ice skating rink with 25 knots from one side.
There's too much criteria. So. That was a good one, real detail. Michael James, world's nicest bloke, when he heard I had to trench out around my house, he said, "Why can't you have a pursuit race? You've dug a trench, you've got water around your house. Pursuit race, the Barkarati pursuit race around my house," which I thought was very clever. He's a smart mouth.
You just have to stand on your roof to call them as they go over the midpoint line.
Oh, you've even got the platform, the barge. Don't even need a barge.
We're all good.
Stand on your roof.
Lila Tucker,
this is good.
Agricola Film Festival, having a short film on the Rainbow Dinghy this weekend.
Bossy, you must love this.
Did you see that, boss?
Yeah, I've seen I haven't purchased the video. I saw the actual the trailer to it, and I mean, I'm more than happy if Lila wants to use #BringBackTheRainbow because it's got quite the following. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So, no, that was very solid. I look forward to seeing the film. And everyone just search it. And I think it's $1.99 maybe.
$1.99 is what it was. $1.99. Yep, absolutely.
So,
love it.
Yeah.
Help her out.
The next one is the next two are quite interesting, boys. Going to be hard to choose listener of the week. Obviously, they didn't write us, but we know we've got some people in Ukraine listening to us. And we just send as much love and support as we can out to all the Ukrainian sailors and all the Ukrainian people in just the most horrendous time. So all the people in Ukraine, listeners of the week. The only other one I do want to mention, and this is serious, a Russian sailor and our friend, Irina Gracheva.
Irina,
yeah, I know.
Irina Grevek.
Yeah,
you tried to do it. You tried.
I didn't. I was just carried away with emotion. For
Irina Grevecha,
Russian sailor, we've had her on the show.
Yep,
fantastic human being, lovely person,
absolutely
and
beautiful.
She has been extremely active in the last few days for outright condemnation of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Her Facebook page I've got it up right in front of me right now. There's a whole bunch of famous Russians that have condemned it, and they're trying to publicise that this is not being led by the Russian people; it's led by a lunatic. I don't really want to get political. It's not really my favourite place to go, but war. There's no justification. So,
I think it's good that we get Irina's word out. I mean, she's one of us. She's a sailor, and there's plenty more. There's plenty more there.
She's
it's not just Irina.
Whilst we may anyway, just wanted to say and just get out of Ukraine. Let's just make it back to normal. Anyway, so we have to choose from that. Unless you guys have got another one or two.
Well, we've got a couple of late entrants that came through the door. One was requesting a bit of assistance from your good self and basically kicked BP and I in the arse in doing so.
Yeah, just went straight to your personal email. Are you giving your personal emails out now to try and raise some funds or something?
They came to me via my personal Facebook. So I shouldn't tell how people find me, but sent me a message. The Vanuatu sailing team, I think it was. Vanuatu.
So I've just got something to say to them.
Oh, yeah.
Vanuatu sailing team.
From the Vanuatu Cruising Yacht Club?
Correct. I'll tell you what, given Jordan's so smart at this sort of stuff that you're requesting, the minute he finds us money, we'll give you some, all right?
No.
For the time being.
No, you're mixing them up. It was the Irish guys chasing sponsorship help and the Vanuatu.
No, sorry. So you Irish mugs, let me tell you.
We'll get to you later.
No, the Vanuatu is about the
coaching.
Yeah, wanting to do some coaching. Exactly.
Yeah, help them with the Mark Turnbull's event, the Sailing League.
Correct. In Newcastle.
Yeah, Sailing Champions League. So they asked to fill an honorary coaching role. I'm not sure what honorary coaching role means, whether they just stand there and talk shit.
Potentially become the next king of Vanuatu.
Yeah. Potentially may already be. May or may not currently be. But, yeah, so there's a few guys. This, the Vanuatu's an island in the Pacific just off the coast of Australia. Great people. I've been there, love it. Have had some great time at that actual yacht club. 100% been to that yacht club and know it well. So, a classic story. One of the guys sailing with them in the event has been stuck in Brisbane for 2 years. So, for 2 years, he's been stuck in Brisbane because of COVID, the COVID restrictions. And overcome some leukemia at the time, so he's obviously stuck here for other things. And he's a potential future Olympic swimmer and sailor from Portavilla. So
pretty handy being in Brisbane at the minute.
Yeah, he's probably being a swimmer.
Training hard, yeah.
And a sailor.
Maybe that was him doing laps at the AFL Oval. Maybe he's been signed up for AFL.
Yeah.
Get out there, son, and do some laps.
Follow the white line.
The other one you were talking about was Killian Ballasty, the Irish, the youth 1720 sports boat team. They, I think it's quite a popular class in Ireland.
Sounds like
extremely.
Yeah,
talking it up.
they're a youth team looking to sort of
match it almost with the big guns.
Yeah, the big. And they don't have the money because they're all sort of uni students. So they've got a bit of talent. They claim it, and so they're trying to work out how to get sponsorship. You know and we get a lot of letters like this. I guess I'll say because we've sort of said and done some nice things.
Talked it up a bit.
Yeah. So the obvious thing with the sponsorship,
it's time we come true, isn't it? Though.
What we come through? What
we can't even raise money for ourselves.
Oh no, we didn't try. I've never tried.
Yeah, we haven't tried.
The important thing to say is in that instance is that you've got to ask yourself what you can offer. I think is what I want to say. So I'll go back in a private email to these guys. But anyone that wants to write in about sponsorship.
It probably follows last week's discussion, and that's a good template. I mean, these guys last week, CJ and the guys last week, same sort of thing, coming from the same. They wanted to chase that. How do we get to that level? How do we do that?
Well,
it's what you can give back. It's what it is. Isn't it?
So the one with our youth clean sailors youth team that we had last week. They've got the ability to take people out on the boat, and there's a bit of corporate stuff going on with the whole series, so they can bring that into the equation, which is where the real value is in sailing.
Yep.
For these guys, the Irish guys, the pathway has to be around connection. So where the value is, how you can present that value. So. We'd have to do a bit of an analysis of what they bring, what their connections are and stuff like that. But, yeah, sponsorship is not just about asking for money. It's about giving back and giving more. So, yeah. Anyway.
Probably in their case, a bit of a local thing. Is there a brewery? Is there a hotel?
Is there a brewery in Ireland? Did you just ask that?
I don't know. Is there?
They're rolling fields in Ireland?
Do they speak funny?
Was that the only one?
Oh, gents, no. We had one come in at the 11th hour, believe it or not.
Is this a cross?
This is Sammy Hurdell, Switzerland, 4:13 a.m. in the morning UTC. This is written, and it's written as a bit of a tribute to a newborn child, explaining a little bit about Baccarati. We're not going to read it out, but because it's It's quite intense, quite detailed. But what I'm going to say, Sammy, 4:13 a.m., I sincerely hope you're not playing Baccarati bingo with yourself because you would be hammered by now.
Well,
there are several references within this that link directly to John's Baccarati bingo. But no, Sammy, we appreciate what you've said there. And basically, in the end, it's named his daughter Elliot. Wanted to give a bit of a sailing theme. So there you go. I may have completely balls that up, but that's about it.
Is it funny? Can we publish that one, or should we publish that one, or not?
We shall.
Oh, okay.
We shall.
Oh, cool.
All right, so now we've got to choose a listener of the week. Geez, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said.
We're gonna have to get the girls behind in the back office to start sort of organising this for us because we've been sort of.
We're going to start the voting process.
We're on the hop, aren't we?
Well, make a call.
Okay. All right. So it's up to me and you, Bicey, apparently. I don't know. I'm just. All right. You know what? On a serious note, I like the Myron Marby thing because he came back and answered a question that we had, and we put forward the solution to the world's problems in having ice sailing in the Olympics, and he's come back and told us why it can't be or why it isn't. Yeah. That's quite cool. A bit of a serious one.
I enjoyed Scott Patton honorary mention.
I must
just for a bit of humour.
Didn't he win it last week?
But
didn't he win it last week, Jay?
I can't remember.
He did. Yeah,
I'm going with Sammy, written from the heart.
Yeah,
that's me at the minute, and just timed it beautifully. Right, fresh on front of mind.
All right,
coming straight into the episode.
I have just read the email. It is very funny, and obviously congratulations as well.
Well, one of you blokes publish it so people can have a look. That'd be good. Cool.
So it'll be published 3 times now by all of us. All right. So that's the winner then.
Okay, may or may not be receiving an Happy Pack.
That's the prize, isn't it? Just to get that.
Love it.
Some formula.
Yeah. Love it.
Couple of dummies.
Special brew.
Oh, dear.
Bag of nappies. Baccarat sticker on the front.
Good.
It's hot time with Bice.
Rightio, gents. I heard Hot Time with Bice went pretty well last week.
Yeah, it was just hot time.
Okay, on a serious note, just want to mention this, 8 bells to Lou Varney.
Yep.
Yes,
for many offshore, inshore sailor or anyone that has ever been to the UK or on the Mediterranean, around the globe actually, would know Lou Varney, who's lost. We lost him to the greater we lost him last week. And a shout out to all the guys from Diverse. Lou was one of the founders or very early pioneers there at Diverse Yacht Services, and saw a lot of touching comments and everything written by our good friend Sci-Fi. So just a shout out to all close friends of Lou. Now, gents, my absence last week, I was doing some on-the-ground reporting, so of which I will do right now. The T-Cool Classic. I'll give you a couple of highlights. One, this is actually... So we finish at 3 a.m. Ichiban takes the win, Secret Men second, the Hooligan third, and everyone kind of comes in, followed. I think the last boat finished at late on the Saturday afternoon into Port Lincoln. At around 12 or midday on the Saturday, a few sensible people had been home and had a sleep, including my good self. A few not so sensible had stayed at the bar all morning. And then someone else who was not so sensible decided to hit a tuna farm with his boat, put a big gouge down the side and bring the boat into the dock, trying to put it on the trailer, whilst there was about 100 half-drunk sailors and drunk sailors on the balcony at the Marina Hotel. And this is literally happening 100 metres in front of everyone. So one good friend, his name shall remain anonymous, but he filmed the whole thing and put it on Defender Oz's Facebook page.
On your cover.
Current count, 115,000 views. It has gone viral in one day.
The guy's an influencer.
At one day, it jumped 50,000 views.
Wow.
The guy's an influencer. He's an influencer.
So we were sitting there.
Yeah, make sure you tag Barkarati in that, will you?
Co-managing the page with the one who shall remain unmentioned. Anyway, literally having a beer after the race, and you could see it clicking up like in 2,000 likes. And it's, just gone viral. So goes to prove any sort of cock-up or controversy or anything like that is where it's at. And currently negotiating with some of the viral
Love it.
video people now. Should get us a six-pack or so.
Yeah.
Second big highlight of the week, got to go to Brian Partridge. He gave a phenomenal interview at the end of the regatta, and I was just prior to the prize giving, just listening to a few things that was, I'm watching it on Facebook, all the stuff that Harry from Down Under Sail, Harry and Jordo did.
Yep.
And he's explaining about his crew and who was new on the crew and who was missing. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, Partridge, this is going on a bit. And then he goes, so we got our old main sheet hand to get better card. He's not crook or anything. He just needs to get better.
I remember that one. Actually, there was
they played it at the prize giving night. Hilarious. Brought the house down.
It's got to get better.
Brian, awesome.
Yeah. Well, that actually just comes back to when you were at the Mega Barbecue as well. They had an interview with Roger.
Yeah.
And Harry comes on and goes, NBP. And then Roger goes, hang on.
Funny. So a couple of quick highlights there and just a little wrap up. Div 1 easily taken out by Ichiban, pushed super hard on the last day by Secret Men's Business, and then who are just getting quicker and quicker, as the week went on. Div 2 nicely taken out by Shining Sea, some of the best sailing I've seen them do for quite some time. Didn't break anything, did have Rob Green on board, so they went all right. Trailables, Cyril Pest with Craig McPhee and PHS with the Punisher. So, and then last feature, the new Scarlet Runner. He was there.
Tell me.
Looks good.
Tell me.
Not going well.
I'm saying no more.
Did I not, or did I write a note on our private notebook?
I must say I'm not. I didn't speak to Datey in about it. I spoke to a few other people. I mean, straight out the box this day and age, you want something that's, pretty on the pace. It's funny configuration, kills in front of the rig, a few things like that. You think they would have worked that out with the camper. But it's you can see offshore, though, it can certainly light up, and with a few config changes, I'm sure, and plus getting all the systems fully up and running and those sorts of things. So by all means, I take nothing away. The boat looks beautiful, beautifully built and everything. And I'm sure they'll get there. Yeah. So, but interesting to say the least.
Okay, well, let's leave it at that. Let's wish them all the luck to get onto the numbers. Obviously a new boat, obviously new crew, obviously all sorts of new things going on. So anyway, we'll see how that pans out. And
then final, Hot Time with Bice. What is their exact name? Well, the International Cape Horners, I believe they're called now. They've assembled what they call the multi-crew circumnavigation list, of which they'll publish. And who do you think tops that multi-crew list? Or what nation, gents? There's certain criteria to be a full circumnavigation, for example, and Volvos and Whitreds do fill that criteria if you're part of the crew the whole way around.
Can I say New Zealand?
Negatoro.
Well, there's a few Aussies at the top of that list because you got
Australia.
Yeah, I reckon. Well, whether we've got enough, but we've got a lot of Aussies that have done the most. I think probably the top three of most circums would be Aussies, I would have thought.
British tops the multi-crew list with 715 circumnavigations.
That's the other thing, because
followed by France, 232.
Wow. I was going to say Poms initially because of the history.
Well,
There's a lot of history. Basically, this is...
Is this forever? This is forever that it's been recorded, or how does that work?
Basically,
When did it start?
fully crewed.
Yeah.
So the first people to do it.
But so does Captain Cook qualify?
Yeah.
So Magellan qualifies.
Portuguese.
1519 or whatever the date was.
Right. That's what I'm asking.
From memory.
From off the back of my head, there was Magellan.
But they're assembling this list. But shout out to all the Volvo Whitbread guys, or anyone for that matter, guys and girls.
What about Captain Sparrow? Captain Sparrow, does he
go check it out? And because they're kind of asking for people to give input as well, if there's people missed out. But this is pretty cool. So that's the International Association of Cape Horners.
Love it.
There you go, lads.
Oh, we need to bring in the discussion because Team New Zealand made the announcement of their sailing team this week.
Which followed up by a very interesting email, I might add.
Is that the one that Chris Hitchings sent through?
Yeah.
Do you want to run with that?
No, I think you should bring it up because...
So he's got a theory that Team New Zealand signed Glenn and Nath early, so that ties them up from ever being able to sail in an Oz team for the next 70-plus years. Team New Zealand promised to both of them that they'll be 100% be Act 37 skippers for Team New Zealand so they can sign up all chipper and stoked. Then the boys at Team New Zealand thought, what the hell are we going to do with them now? Brain cogs start turning. Bingo, blow cart. Let's get them there out there.
Yeah, let's get the world's fastest blow cart going.
Out there building on the salt flats. Fantastic idea.
Send them off in the middle of Australia and hang out for a while.
Tell Glenn it was his idea completely from the get-go. Nath will tag along with a box of 4X off to the centre of nowhere, sat phone included, so when they inform that Pistol and Chook are back, they can't hear the screams. Just really clever thought. I like it.
Of which that email arrived prior to Pistol Pete and Blair getting named as back in Team New Zealand.
Well, let's just discuss. I've heard what people are getting paid, what the contract negotiations came out as. Do you guys want to know?
You're on the inner sanctum.
Let us know, mate.
You're on the inner sanctum.
So remember we threw, theories around that, Larry was offering islands to get Pete and Blair and New Zealand were going to rename the Cook Strait.
Yep.
Right. That's what's happened. They amalgamated their names and they're going to call it the Bleater Buke Strait. The Bleater Buke Strait is because they've amalgamated Peter and Blair and Burling and Chook, so the Bleater Buke Strait. So congratulations, boys.
Bleater Buke Straits, yeah. Good.
Andy Maloney and Josh Jr. signed up for a couple of lamb pies and some Velcro gloves. Ashby, as you know, the land sailor, and for Outridge, New Zealand promised to let him back in New Zealand. He hasn't been able to get back in for a few months since Sydney. And so they've just said, we'll let you back in. And that was it. That's
all it took.
That's all it took. That's the contract.
Bloody good pies, I must admit.
Nothing wrong with the lamb pie.
Lamb and pie. Exactly.
Not too sure about the Velcro gloves.
Anyway. But, yeah, so they're well advanced on that. I wonder how that fits in with Sail GP because you've got Nath, Pete, Blair, Josh. Everyone except Ashby basically is sailing Sail GP. So... I'm interested how that's all going to work out. But anyway,
they're a busy bunch, though, aren't they? And
yeah,
Sammy mentioned it. They're a tight knit group on not only on the boats but on the entire circuit. And then you've got the America's Cup, and then you've got all the other stuff going on.
So much going on, BP.
Oh, massive amounts.
It's crazy.
Just ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It's
cool. Congratulations. What are we?
Who are we congratulating?
Caribbean 600.
Warrior 1.
Race. We can.
Yeah, Warrior 1 across from
Warrior
Comanche,
1.
And then
Pack
Tala.
52.
Good.
The 74 teams, gents.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Biggest fleet since its inception. So
It's a good one.
It's getting stronger. And who would have thought, like, out the back end of COVID, or we're just saying that, and they don't say that over in the Northern Hemisphere. So we're just a little bit upside down. So they're going strong. Scorpius Comanche just battled it out beautifully.
Oh,
Scorpius got one over this time, so
okay.
I think they're starting to get to pace, starting to get on the pace, aren't they?
I've got a question for you. Who owns Scorpius?
No.
No, don't go here.
Oh, no.
I'm just worried about a few of our professional sailing mates, whether they're going to be able to get paid.
Who owns Comanche?
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
But
Exactly. I know.
we don't know them, and they obviously love their sailing, and that's what we love.
Well,
We did see Brokovich donate for the football club he owned,
Chelsea,
to charity today.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a token.
I reckon if we put our hand out, you never know. Some of these folks could come up for
Comanche's going to come.
Bar Karate needs to survive.
Yeah.
In time,
Yeah, we'd survive about 8 minutes, like with it tied to the dock, because the bills would be too high.
Yeah. Anyway,
I
interesting
think,
time.
I hear what you're saying, Jay. I hear what you're saying, but I've sort of got a little bit of as we've seen with various sports people around the planet, and with arena, it's the same sort of thing. Hopefully it's the same. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you right now,
go
no money will be accepted from Russian banks right now. That's already happened. I know that for a fact.
Oh, mate, not a chance it's coming from Russia anyway.
No, that's what I'm just making sure. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Channel Islands, Bermuda. We've been in the game long enough to know what.
Yes. Well,
Isle of Wight, registered in Isle of Wight.
just depends which
Delaware.
bank they're using in those locations is all I'm saying.
Delaware's a favourite.
All right. On that note, I think that's us, boys.
I know. Go and get my guitar.
Get your guitar. Anything else? We all good?
Fired up, gents. Just checking my notes. All my notes done. Big thanks to Sammy Newton.
Yeah,
again.
absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Back on the water tomorrow.
Cracker.
5.5. Thanks to Mr.
Looking
Anon
forward
for his
to
letter.
getting some work done this week, but there's going to be stuffed up next week watching the 18s. So
Yeah. And we got a
might
cyclone
have to get another
forming,
screen in.
so I'll be just underwater
Yeah, just
again.
bunker down.
Fun times.
Yeah.
All right.
See you guys.
See you, team.
See you
Thanks,
later.
everyone, for listening. We love your work.